Hi there. Today we're going to see how to configure our touch control panel model 500817. The first thing we need to do is access our device's IP from any browser. The username and password are admin in both cases. In the layout panel here, we'll find three main sections: pages, layout, and buttons. In the pages column, we can add up to 20 different pages. We can change the name, which is only visible to us, and the background image, which can only be set once for all pages. Selecting the background option opens the default image library, where we can select any icon or image we want. Also, we can upload our own images easily. All the images and icons we upload will remain saved in the library, but don't worry, you can delete them at any time. In the section where we see the layout, we can change the position and size of our buttons. We can edit these buttons in the last column by double-clicking the button or simply selecting each one. We can edit each of the buttons or layouts however we like, from the name to switching to another previously created page or even the icon as seen here. One thing to remember is that the computer has a memory limit, which we can see at the bottom as we work. We can save our project by clicking on Backup, and if we want to load it again, we can do so with the Recover option. Once our layout is finished, we can load it to our touch control panel with the Save to Unit option. Just make sure you wait for it to finish. In order to program our buttons, we have to select the button and click on the Program Button option. This will open a menu on another page where we can hide the button, select a condition for it to run, such as when the tablet is turned on or when the relay changes state. We can also select to run actions on a specific day and time. At the bottom, we can see the command or commands programmed for the button, as well as its delay in milliseconds. By clicking on Command Editor, the page for editing commands will appear, where we can command the unit to activate another button on any page, or command it to stop if it's already executing a command. We can also send IP commands in different ways. For example, TCP, UDP, or HTTP. The only thing we need is the command information. For example, IP, port, and the command of the equipment to be controlled. For example, turning on the zone of an amplifier. Remember that you can find all the specifics of this information in the documentation for the equipment you're controlling. It's similar with the RS-232 and RS-485 sections. We have to enter the command and select whether it requires feedback. Remember that this is determined by the device being controlled. For IR control, we can paste the hex commands, or we can use the IR learner built into the equipment. We just have to click on Learn, and the equipment will start to detect the infrared signal aimed at it. The only thing we have to do is send the command with the remote control of the equipment to be controlled. And finally, the relay. Remember that you have two relays which we can open or close. Each button can execute different commands. To create a macro, you just have to add the commands one by one. Here in the System tab, we can configure other aspects of our unit, such as whether pressing a button will make a sound, how long it will take for the screen to go to sleep, and the auto reboot time. All completely customizable and optional. We can also modify the IP address of the computer. Below is where we modify the values for the RS-232 and RS-485 ports. Remember that we get these values from the documentation for the equipment to be controlled. We can also modify the frequency of sending infrared commands and the status of the relays. Finally, we can synchronize or configure the time and date of the device. You can also change your username and password and restore or backup system settings. You can reboot, reset to factory settings, or update the device's firmware version. Remember that you can download the firmware from the MuxLab website. We recommend keeping your devices up to date. If you want to know the current version of your device, you can check it below on this page here. Thanks for watching.